Hi guys, welcome down to London Golf Academy, and today we're going to test the brand new Ping G700 iron. So it's kind of welcome to the party for Ping with hollow headed irons. Obviously we've had the crossovers which have been that hollow head, but we're now looking at a full set of irons. Obviously other manufacturers have already been down that route, and what it does give us is a massively forgiving club head that really gives us kind of metalwood performance, but from an iron. Now G700 for me very much aimed at the guy who's looking for ultra forgiveness, getting the ball up in the air and getting some good distance. So like I said, hollow head, you know, really wide sole with a bit of bounce to give us that really good interaction with the turf. Certainly the ability with the hollow head is that so much forgiveness and consistent ball speed across the club face. But I've got 7 iron. I've got it set up for me, so ½ inch longer, couple of degrees upright, 29.5 degree 7 iron. So very strong loft, not the strongest loft out there for a 7 iron. But I've hit a couple of shots just loosening up with this. We're going to hit 5 real balls on GC2. I'm going to show you some ball flight, and then I'm going to talk about the things that I really love in principle for these. Maybe some of my concerns with G700, and I think I have the same concerns with similar design of clubs with other manufacturers. But let's hit the shots, let's see how it performs, give you feedback on looks and feel as ever, and see if G700 might be something going in your bag for this year. So certainly down behind the golf ball, it's long from toe to heel, it's a big thick top line, and even though this says 7 on the bottom, it looks more like even a slightly strong 6 iron if I'm being honest. But don't mind the way it looks behind the ball, and I love the way it's finished like the rest of the iron, so you could kind of mix and match some sets. But first of 5, just standard swings. And that is super fast off the face. Really felt it exploded off the face. And that's pretty decent to start with. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure it'd fit my eye on kind of 7 iron down. Any of you guys watch my videos, I do prefer something with a thinner top line. But I think straight away I could put, I think 4 irons the longest iron they do. But once you get the power spec loft, I think it gets into around 18.5, 19 degrees. So I could use that as my 3 iron replacement very easily. Don't think that one's quite going to shape back. Just didn't quite square the club face up. Might lose a few yards on that. Still nice and long though for a 7 iron. So again, good distance. Shot 3. Really does feel like it jumps off the face though. And again, the hollow design, like I said, feels very like a metalwood. I mean, that's massive for a 7 iron. Okay, so if you're looking for more distance, this is definitely going to be something you should be trying. And again, felt nice and solid. Just not quite turning over. Again, big. Okay, and let's go one final one before we look at some numbers. Maybe just going to turn a bit. It's probably more what I would expect my shot to be. And again, very long. Right then guys, so my initial feedback is, I don't think it's the best looking iron, but I don't think it's not an ugly looking iron for something that's as big and chunky as it is. So I think looks wise, kind of on the fence for me. I think feel wise, it actually feels really nice off the face. It is only 7 iron I'm hitting, but obviously Ping's promise is that this is their longest and highest hitting iron ever. So I think it's going to really appeal to a lot of guys from the way Ping market the club. But let's look at some numbers and just see how G700 performed. Okay then guys, so it's a little bit warmer than it has been down here. Still woolly hat weather for me, but swinging it just under 96. So I've definitely moved the club a little bit quicker. The club is dotted up, so HMT is picking my club head speed, that's accurate. 125 mile an hour ball speed with a 7-iron is seriously fast for me. That's really quick. Again though, I do think that comes down to that stronger loft, 29.5 degrees, but still launching at 19.5, so it's not launching low, so the low CG is doing its job. We'll look at the average spin at just under 5,000. Now that is low for a 7-iron, but again, for a 29.5 degree 7-iron, it's not exceptionally low. 38 yard peak height, so it's hitting it really high. Average carry 183, so that's long, but again, good ball speed, low spin, we'd expect to see that. And total, running out a little bit more because of that low spin, just under 200 yards. But I had a couple of shots that you can see there, over 200 yards with the 7-iron. Okay guys, so we've looked at the numbers, and bearing in mind that's a 7-iron, they are super impressive numbers. And like I said before, looking at the numbers, Ping are saying their longest, highest flying iron ever designed. Now, I would have to agree with the numbers I've seen there. That's probably the longest I've hit any Ping 7-iron. And at 38 yard peak height, that is seriously high. Now, the length definitely comes down a little bit because I've swung a little bit quicker as it's warmed up. I get that. Massive ball speed off there. But that's a positive, that it goes a long way. So for you guys who don't hit it far, this is going to tick a lot of boxes for you guys. The negative for me with hitting 7-iron that far is it just means that all the short clubs equally are going a long way. Now, obviously with being so strong, 4-iron's the longest iron they do. Between 4, 5, 6-iron, we're only into 3 degrees. So I've spoken about this on previous videos. My concern is that we're not going to see a 10-yard gap, that we're going to be too tight in those longer irons. But as we go kind of 7, 8, 9 wedge, we actually get into a 5-degree gap. So I'm a little bit concerned, and this is my only negative with these type of clubs, is does that gap in of 10 yards that we traditionally know from club to club, is that going out the window? And because fittings are done around 7-iron, are more and more of the manufacturers just cranking the 7-iron so strong that they just want to see how far they can hit it. It's not the worst thing in the world. You know, for you guys that don't hit it a long way, you're going to love something that really gets it out there. But as ever, it's about getting fitted, hitting the product, seeing if it gives you what you're after. As ever guys, thank you for watching. I do really appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. Comment below and I'll try and get back to as many of you as I can. Like and share it if you enjoyed the video. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Subscribe to my channel if you don't already. Just make sure you don't miss out on my content. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here in the future. Stay in contact.